Thanks for checking out this episode of the Rookie Big Board. If you enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like. You can check out all of my work, including the 2022 Rookie Big Board, at patreon.com/theFFeducator. This is episode 3 of a 3-part mini-series of my reflections on the 2021 rookie class. If you have not checked out parts 1 and 2, I highly encourage you check out that now. Part 1 is available in video and audio format. Part 2 is just in audio format, so you can check out the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And on part 3 here, we're going to be redrafting the 2021 rookie class here. I'm going to do a 4-round Superflex rookie mock draft here and just kind of go through exactly what I have broken down. Now, I don't normally take time to really intentionally pitch this, but I do want to let folks know that it is the 2022 season. A lot of folks are moving towards Dynasty, a roster building season, thinking about their rookie drafts. I encourage you to head on over to patreon.com/theFFeducator. And you can get access to the rookie big board. I already have 45 finished evaluations for the 2022 class. We're going to about double that by the time we get to the draft. You can get access to the Discord channel, one-on-one rookie draft advice, as well as draft constellations, draft calls that I do with folks. So I highly encourage you to check that out. You can get a lot of value out of just the $3 a month level, or you can get 15% off with a yearly membership. So let's go ahead and jump into the rookie draft here. I'm actually going to be pulling up the rookie big board. As you can see here, it's the 2022 rookie big board, my Debbie board, dynasty boards, and also the all-time board. But I'm going to be digging into a redraft here that I have set up specifically for the purposes of this episode. All right, so let's go ahead here and dig into this rookie mock draft. I am going to start, to the surprise of probably nobody here, with Ja'Marr Chase. All right, so Ja'Marr Chase is coming in at the 101, even in a super flex. He's a league winner. He's absolutely balled out this season. I think week 17 really pushes his dynasty value forward. And so I have him coming in here. By the way, you can see on the video format here their final ranking and their rookie big board rating, as well as their fantasy football projection. Now, this draft isn't just going to be me going through my top 48 rankings, because I'm putting a little bit of just kind of general draft and draft strategy into it. But it is going to be Ja'Marr Chase at the top. I'm going to have Najee Harris coming off of the board number 2 here. I'm still a big fan of Najee Harris. I know that probably wouldn't shake out that way in a lot of rookie drafts if you redid the draft, but I'm putting Najee Harris up there. He's a top 5, top 10 fantasy running back in his first year with absolutely everything working against him. I'm happy to take him at 102. I would take him at 101 if I really needed a running back. Jaylen Waddle coming in at 103. I think he's got the 3rd highest dynasty value right now out of this class. And so I did mention this is a super flex mock draft, but I'm putting 3 positional players above the first quarterback here because I think Chase, Harris, and Waddle have stood out above the rest of the class here in terms of immediate production here. Jaylen Waddle coming in as a wide receiver 1 exceeded even my really high expectations on him. You know, I had him as my wide receiver 2 in the class. He's going to hold that rating. But I did not have him as worthy of the 103 coming into rookie drafts this year. And I think he's hit that value. So I think if you're redoing a rookie draft right now for the 2021 class, I think Jaylen Waddle would have a serious argument here to be coming off the board at 103. And then we have a run of quarterbacks here. I have Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields going off the board 104 and 105. I still highly value these players. I still think they're going to hit in dynasty formats. I know Trevor Lawrence has looked rough at the end of the season. I know Justin Fields has struggled at different parts of this season, but I think they're both in organizations and franchises where hopefully they've experienced the worst situation they're going to be put in. Hopefully they both get improved coaching staffs, improved development, and they have a year of tape for coaching staffs to understand what their skill sets are in the NFL and how you build weapons around them to help improve their situations. So it's not uncommon for quarterbacks not to hit for fantasy purposes in their first year and develop large jumps in their second or third year. And so that's what I'm banking on here with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields coming off the board 104, 105 in a super flex format. Now, right here, it's getting kind of close. You could have taken Kyle Pitts over Justin Fields, but I do have Kyle Pitts going at 106. And I got to be honest, I was a little low on Kyle Pitts. I had him more at 109 going into rookie drafts this upcoming year. I don't think most folks even want to hear that I have him down here at 106. I think he's performed well. Obviously, record, kind of pushing record for rookie tight end numbers at the receptions level, receiving yards, but not quite there in terms of touchdowns. And I'm not sure the Atlanta offense is going to magically get better. So still worth the 106. I think he's going to be a tight end one here moving forward, and that's highly valuable in dynasty leagues where we struggle with the tight end position. And then coming in here at 108 and 109 are Javonte Williams and Devonta Smith. Now, I mentioned I'm not just going down my rankings, and here's a good example. They both come in at 7-8 in RBBR, so they have the same value. I think I have Devonta Smith a little bit higher, but I know most folks probably would have Javonte Williams higher. By the way, I missed a pick. I apologize. At 107, it's Trey Lance. So it's going Pitts, Lance, Williams, Devonta Smith. And I think for a lot of folks, they might have Javonte Williams over Trey Lance, potentially even over Justin Fields or Kyle Pitts. I'm still proceeding with a little bit of caution relative to Javonte Williams right now. I'm not convinced that Denver is moving on from Melvin Gordon. If they do move on from Melvin Gordon, then I think you have an argument to put Javonte Williams in the top 5 of this rookie draft, top 4, because he has shown an improved level of skill than I graded him for. On his college tape, he's outproduced, the eye test has outperformed my expectations personally. So, I've been very honest with the fact that I did not grade Javonte Williams as high as I should have. However, I am still proceeding with a little bit of caution when it comes to Javonte Williams. All right, let's jump to the next portion of this here. Finish out the first round and get into the second round. We're going to start here with Travis Etienne coming in at pick 10 here. And again, if you're watching on the video, 10, the pick is in the far left column here in this pick range. All right, we're starting here with Travis Etienne. Didn't get to play his season. I'd still draft him 10th. I know this is a big question for a lot of folks. Where's Travis Etienne's value? I still value Etienne at a very high level here, so I'd have him come in at 10. The first round is rounding out with Mac Jones at 11, Elijah Moore at 12. Mac Jones, of course, had a fantastic year. I talked about him on the Risers episode, so I won't dig back in. But I think late first round is still where his value is. Elijah Moore has shown really good flashes this year. Pat Freiermuth, starting off the second round here, we'll go Pat Freiermuth at 13th, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 14, Rashad Bateman at 15, Michael Carter at 16. If you take a look at those 4 picks here, I think there's folks who are still going to want Rashad Bateman to be a first-round rookie pick, and he's just not. I put Amon-Ra St. Brown above him. I put Elijah Moore above him. I think Pat Freiermuth has shown a ton of potential as a rookie tight end, so I'm really excited about what he's shown. If you want to take Pat Freiermuth in the first round of this redraft, I would not blame you a bit. Moving on here, you have Zach Wilson at 17, Elijah Mitchell, I apologize, at 18, Rhamondre Stevenson at 19, Terrace Marshall at 20, Kadarius Toney at 21, Davis Mills at 22, Rondale Moore coming off the board at 23, and rounding out the first 2 rounds of a rookie draft here is going to be Kenneth Gainwell. So you can see here we're already kind of hitting that next drop-off point. A lot of question marks around all these players. Elijah Mitchell was one of the highest guys on the Risers Fallers episode, and for good reason, right? Elijah Mitchell has performed very well this year. What does his long-term output and projection look like in San Francisco? I think there's still a lot of question marks around that. Rhamondre Stevenson, he is an ideal guy to have in RB0 builds, right? He's not going to be the guy consistently week in and week out as long as Damien Harris is healthy. But if Damien Harris goes down, Rhamondre Stevenson has the potential to be a league winner type player. Terrace Marshall, a big faller for me. We talked about that already. I've taken my L on that very publicly. However, I still think the talent is there. So if he can get a heightened role in Carolina, then you'd get a smash steal in the back end of the second round here. Kadarius Toney, high draft capital, hasn't hit. I do think he moves up a little bit. He's shown some flashes, a little bit of upside there. And so he would have been a third-round rookie pick, early third round for me. And so he is moving up a little bit. Davis Mills, a huge jump up here. I think he's the back end of the second round. I understand some folks might want to take him closer to where I have Zach Wilson. I don't think it's there. I think Zach Wilson still has more talent and more potential long-term in the NFL, higher fantasy football upside there. And so not getting too excited about Davis Mills, still proceeding with caution. Rondale Moore, I don't know. I'm just not excited with what I've seen about Rondale Moore. I talked about Moore and Toney in my last lesson of that lessons learned episode, part 2 of this series here, when I talked about the dangers of drafting rookies here that require manufactured production at the college level, and you can see I'm kind of consistently fading these guys still relatively. And then moving on into the third round here, at the beginning of the third round, you have Chubba Hubbard, Brevin Jordan, Nico Collins. I think Chubba has been very good, right? For what he is, right? I've had him in best ball leagues, and he's performed well when McCaffrey has been out. But I'm glad I don't need to figure out what weeks to play him and what weeks not to play him. And if you're looking forward here, he's going to have a limited role once Christian McCaffrey comes back. Brevin Jordan has shown some really great flashes. We know tight ends tend to produce slower. And so I could have an argument here, I think, to put Brevin Jordan, right up there with Rhamondre Stevenson, Terrace Marshall. Then Nico Collins, I know the numbers aren't looking good in terms of his separation rate. He's been a little bit slow. He's on kind of a bad offense. I mean, let's not sugarcoat. He's on a bad offense, right? So if you looked at Nico Collins as well, but there's still upside here. He's still super athletic. He comes with a high pedigree. I still like his college tape. So I still think there's plenty of upside here when it comes to Nico Collins. And so at the beginning of the second round, I feel all right with that. Let's go ahead and jump into the mid-second round here, starting with pick number 28, Dyami Brown. Then at 29, it's Trey Sermon. At 30, it is Josh Palmer. 31, Jarrett Patterson. 32, Khalil Herbert. 33, Demetric Felton. 34, Kylan Hill. 35, Dwayne Eskridge. And coming off the board at 36, or what would be pick 312 of a rookie draft, is going to be Kellen Mond. Dyami Brown was somebody folks were really high on. I was a little lukewarm on him. He hasn't really shown out in that Washington offense, but he did have good college tape. Trey Sermon, a huge faller there. A lot of folks expected him, myself included, to win out the 49ers job. Certainly did not do that. Josh Palmer has shown great flashes, backed up that late day 2 draft capital. The key with Josh Palmer is Mike Williams going to be re-signed? If Mike Williams is not re-signed, then we were going all in on Josh Palmer. If he is re-signed, he's probably just going to be a rotational part of the offense. Jarrett Patterson has shown the ability to do well, especially here coming off of week 17 with Antonio Gibson out. But we know Antonio Gibson is the guy in this offense. Still, for a UDFA, Jarrett Patterson has performed very well. He was one of my favorite guys coming into this draft, so I'm very happy about Jarrett Patterson. Khalil Herbert, another guy I really liked. He did very well, I thought, when Montgomery was out. But again, another guy he's not going to consistently have that job, right? So a third round value still feels appropriate for him if we were drafting now. Demetric Felton has had some interesting run this season. Kind of a gadgety type player, running back, wide receiver coming out of college. Cleveland's used him creatively. But again, he's not putting up huge fantasy numbers, and he's not in a super explosive offense, right? So what's his ceiling? Probably pretty low. Kylan Hill is somebody who I still super talented, have a ton of upside in that talent here. But again, where's the opportunity going to be? Probably not that high for Kylan Hill. Dwayne Eskridge, one of my favorite guys going into this year's class. I have high exposure to him. He struggled with injuries early on. He's gotten some run here towards late. I think this is somebody who could develop some momentum moving into the second, third season. I think you could have an argument to put him up closer to where I have Dyami Brown in that 28 range, early third round. But you're kind of working in the same range here in this third round. And then coming in with this last pick is Kellen Mond. I mean, a great example here. Why is Kellen Mond not on the field? Why is Sean Mannion on the field? What's that development at? How much more do the Vikings need to see out of Kellen Mond when Kirk Cousins is out? And obviously, he's not even going to be the starting quarterback, even if he is quarterback 2 and beating out Sean Mannion, right? So I think there's upside there. We're kind of running a little bit late in the draft here, so you can take a shot in a super flex league on a quarterback, but not super excited about him. Moving into the fourth round here, it's going to be Larry Roundtree III, a guy that I really liked. He's had some nice runs this year, but again, volume, that's going to be the big question there, especially with Joshua Kelly and it's really Justin Jackson, actually. Joshua Kelly is completely useless. And I did project Larry Roundtree to replace Joshua Kelly, and I do think he will, but Justin Jackson is getting in the way. So we'll see if we can work through that here in the 2022 season. Then coming off the board at 38 is Anthony Schwartz. 39 is Noah Gray. 40 is Tylan Wallace. 41 is Tutu Atwell. 42 is Kyle Trask. If you look at that group, man, Noah Gray has shown some serious flashes, super under the radar, not getting the volume. But I'm telling you, if you were redoing a rookie draft, I would draft Noah Gray in the fourth round 5 out of 5 times, 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 100 times. Because Noah Gray is somebody, I see some sneaky upside. I liked his tape. He looked athletic at Duke. I like the idea of anybody being used as a tight end in the Kansas City offense. So Noah Gray is definitely somebody that if he's on your taxi squad in tight end premium leagues, I'd be excited about it. Tylan Wallace, I love the talent. The volume's not there. We talked about that on the Risers Fallers episode. Kyle Trask is not good at football, but people think he is. So you could draft him at 42 if you want. I would not, but I think other people would. So that's why I put him on the list here. And rounding out this rookie mock draft is going to be coming in at 43, Amari Rodgers, 44, Hunter Long, 45, Chris Evans. Some folks might want to put Chris Evans higher. 46, Des Fitzpatrick. 47 is Jaylen Darton, and then Emir Smith-Marset. I slid in there at that 412. I think you could go in a variety of different directions talking about the players here in this group, but I mean, Chris Evans, he's kind of had a little bit of a pass catching role here. Des Fitzpatrick has been promoted, demoted in the practice squad. He's kind of gone back and forth. We've seen Jaylen Darton primarily on special teams. Amari Rodgers was somebody we were excited about, and then Randall Cobb came in and kind of messed everything up. And so I still really like Amari Rodgers' talent. That's probably the guy out of this group that I would be targeting. But kind of late round darts when it comes to the fourth round there. So that's my picks 1 through 48. I think if you're really looking at this group and seeing what the big differences is, you can look at the wide receivers rising up at the top here, quarterbacks falling in value a little bit. I have Trey Lance really holding that similar value. And I think, really the big difference here is as you get into the second round, you can start to see the guys that have hit. If they've hit early, their dynasty value has risen a ton. If they haven't hit, you're really proceeding with a lot more caution. And as you kind of get into that second, third round, you're looking at the RB0 type guys, right, that are really sticking out. The Jared Pattersons, the Khalil Herberts, those types of guys. That's redrafting the 2021 rookie class. I hope this was a good finish here for the 2021 Rookie Reflections episode. Coming up on the Rookie Big Board, it's going to be Senior Bowl preview shows coming up soon. I'm very excited about. Then we're digging into rookie profile season, and we are full on into 2022 rookie draft season. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following along, and make sure you head on over to patreon.com/theFFeducator. Check it out and get in on the Rookie Big Board. Just $3 a month. You can save 15% with the yearly membership. And as always, I appreciate you checking out this episode.